So hey guys, welcome to the video. This is Chris, and this will mainly be the sixth reflection of the CAS project for traditional Chinese medicine. And yes, let's keep on going. So during the past week, we just mainly did the two parts, which is the first part, coding of the data of the videos, and second is the data selection. And during the coding, I want to just share a very good application with you guys, which is called handbrake. I'll just spell it out. Hand brake. Yes, it is a fantastic software which allows you to choose the form and your frame per second and so on, your sound and the quality and so on. Yes, for example, like you can even choose for example, your size. I mean your scale of your video, like 16 of 9 or 16 of 10, 4 of 3, like 2.39 of 1. Yes, and lots of there are more details, and you can just explore it and by just downloading the software. Yes, about data selection. Data selection, we just mainly sorted it by just different kinds of scenes or chapters, mainly according to the treatment. Yes, mainly according to the treatment, and which is great. And as I said in the last video, we just mainly spend 50 hours for surplus in the coding part, as I just don't know, it costs a long time, and such a long time. And for data selection, it is about 5 hours, or yes, it's about 5 hours. So this week we mainly have 55 hours for our CAS project. So for each day is about like 8 hours, or yes. However, the 50 hours I mentioned for coding is computer work, which means I'll just put all the videos or data in the software and do the setting work, which is about 1 hour for all the sources, and they will just code. The computer will just do coding work. Yes, this is our result during the last week, and next is come to the problems and my feelings, and last is about solutions. So the problems I found is the performance of my laptop. The first problem for performance is for coding. Coding needs not GPU but CPU. Yes, for GPU, my laptop is the RTX 3070 for the NVIDIA, which is a great GPU. However, coding needs CPU, which is Intel i9 and 11980 HK. Truly speaking, it is one of the best. Yes, it is truly the best CPU in the 11th generation of Intel CPUs. However, as you know, the Intel CPU is not as great as we imagine compared with the AMD. However, because of the driver problem, Intel have more driver support, we still need to use their CPUs. However, the performance, truly speaking, is not good. But however, as for me, who has already bought a camera, it is impossible to buy another laptop which is with 12th generation of CPU. As you know, there's a huge progress, yes, in the 12th generation of the CPU. So, however, there's no power. I just can't do it. Next is about editing problem. For the GPU and CPU, yes. As you all know, it mainly use GPU. However, Sony camera, my camera, Sony camera, has a big problem. That is, its coding form, which is its document, which is XAVCSI, uses CPU to do coding, which means the main work is on CPU as well. In my examination of the CPU in DaVinci 17, my CPU will mainly use 90% and GPU will only be 60%. So the problem is coming. The CPU is not good. So I actually feel actually those two problems, I just can't feel any. Although I feel just feel bad or feel bored about the long time I need to wait, but there's no problem, or kind of there's no solutions. The only solution I can tell is the proxy document. So I will do the proxy work. Okay, next is about next week's schedule. First, I'll do vlog editing. Yes, as I mentioned, at the departure from my city to Beijing, I just recorded the vlog. This week I'll mainly do the editing and also I'll do the dubbing problem. Okay, so there's two teachers who are professional at this in my previous school, which is middle school, and I'll try to connect with them. Yes, I'll just try to communicate with them, and yes, this is in my previous plan, but I hope they can respond. At least one of them, I hope at least one of them can just answer and respond and support us. Yes, that's mainly the things I'm going to do in the future. Also, what I need to mention is the editing problem, the CPU problem, only exists in our whole documentary, but not the vlog. And it is going to happen in the future as well. But because it won't just appear in the next week, so I just listed here. Okay, let's talk about what we learned. Growth, of course, from growth in my interest, challenge, of course, planning for my future. I've talked about this in the planning. Keep doing, yes, this is long-term work and group work. I'm group working with my mate, which is who is Ray, and yes, that's I think what I learned, or the goals in the CAS project for the 5 goals. Yes, I think this is this week's CAS reflection, and I think I'll see you in the next week. So this is Chris.